What is up, guys? This is Untitled. I'm doing my review of the Nissan Fairlady Forza edition in Forza Horizon 5. So, if I just get out of this, yeah. So this isn't a very abnormal 400Z. Let's just not 400Z. What do you mean 400Z? Fairlady, let's just say. It's got 540 horsepower, something like 440 newton meters of torque, all going to the back wheels. It's very much like a rally car, I'd say, or maybe a little bit of an off-road car, kind of. But this is the thing; it's rear-wheel drive, so the handling is quite different to your normal rally or off-road car, which would be all-wheel drive. Anyway, I'm going to start this off, obviously, by doing a bit of an off-road run, because this is clearly designed for off-road, and then we're going to be doing a little bit of road testing as well, and I'll be telling you about how this car feels. Now, this car is unlocked through a wheel spin, so it's pretty hard to get. You can also probably buy it for the auction house. I don't know how many people will be selling these, because I find it really cool, but, you know, you can may as well try. Anyway, so be it a rear-wheel drive car, you can't generally put as much power through it through corners on off-road sections, because that can cause a lot of oversteer. But if you look there, it can sometimes turn in a little bit too aggressively. The car features only 3 gears, I can see. That's very weird, but we'll see actually how fast it can go. I will do a little top speed run on the highway. Anyway, for what I can tell, it's not doing too badly off-road. Because of the lifted suspension, you might want to tune this a little bit. I personally think it's a little bit too soft. I often find rally tunes and rally cars and off-road cars and Forza are often way too soft for the actual game. That's why a lot of people actually sometimes prefer race suspension on when tuning a rally car. It's not because it's any better at rally than rally suspension is. It's just because sorry, I was listening to the thing. It's just because often people forget to actually tune their car after upgrading it, so the rally suspension doesn't actually help. That rally suspension isn't good if you don't tune it, because it can often be really way too soft for the car. And also the race suspension can often be way too stiff for racing. So, but a lot of Forza stuff is just there as a baseline. You don't have to sort it out yourself. But we've got a little jump here. We can see how well the car suspension does on landing. Oh, not too bad. It soaked that up. We're not going to try drift this, as that is going to be horrific. You know what? Whatever. We will try drift it. I can't drift with a wheel, by the way, guys. So this is going to be a little bit difficult. No, there's no way I can do that because I can't drift with a wheel. Actually, it's rear-wheel drive. It's not going to drift too badly. No. Got a little bit too much horsepower for my. I personally can't drift like the high horsepower cars, like the Formula Drift cars. I am hopeless. Like if I'm going to drift in high horsepower, I need all-wheel drive for it, because otherwise I just lose grip. But yeah, no, there's no way I can drift this. I'm going to give it a little go, like try. But one, I'm not very good at drifting on a wheel. I can drift on the controller alright. Like I managed to 3-star all the drift zones in number 4. Then again, that's not that hard. Okay. We're not going to break any records here, but it doesn't drift awfully. To be fair, honestly, this is probably more fun to drive manual with clutch than paddle shift. Because it's kind of a bit more of a rally vehicle. But then again, I think in rally now they do use paddle shift, or sequential maybe, I'm not sure. I don't think any racing discipline uses an H-plan anymore, to be honest. Maybe some rally. Okay, anyway, we failed it, but that you could see this car's not really. I mean, I could probably drift it pretty well if I was on a controller, but it's riding quite high compared to a lot of rally cars. So I don't know about that one. But if you're trying to maintain grip, for a rear-wheel drive car, it's honestly not that bad. I mean, as it's rear-wheel drive, it's going to perform better when you're at high speed. But because a lot of rally isn't done at high speed, you can often take advantage of rear-wheel drive. Because basically the difference is all-wheel drive is often beneficial at low speed, because you can put more power down through corners. rear wheel drive just generally better at high speed because the front wheels are not spinning as much and stopping you from gaining grip on the front. So if I show you here, look, when I go at high speed, it can be put through corners pretty well, but when I go at low speed, if you look, loses a lot of grip. Now, this sort of controlled understeer isn't too bad. When you take a sharp corner like that, you have to counter steer. If you're gonna, you shouldn't be going full throttle through corners. This is really just, you got to get good at driving to use something like this. I'm not quite that good on a sim rig yet, but yeah, obviously very drivable, depending on how good you are. Oh, I will need to take a look at that because I'm running on storage space. But yeah, very drivable off-road, certainly. Now I'm going to do an on-road test in a second once I've sorted that storage space issue. Right, so the next thing we're going to try is a bit of road driving. So, as you can tell, we've only got 3 gears, so acceleration isn't the best. But, let's just do a little top speed test. How fast will this thing go? I think I heard it bouncing off the red line at about 135, so a decent speed for rally racing. I actually think, I'm not certain, but this might actually not really be a rally car. It might be more of like a cross-country car. I'm not really sure though. Or maybe somewhere in the middle, because it felt quite nice for rally, but I don't think the rear-wheel drive cars are actually rally. I think really rear-wheel drive and rallies that commonly used. But anyway, for road driving, it's not the best. I mean, the fact is rear-wheel drive's helping a little bit at high speed, and it's helping, yeah, if you look, the fact is rear-wheel drive stopping it from understeering too much, but the fact it's unresponsive just because of the way the suspension is set up. The chassis of the car is just flopping around a lot on top of the wheels because it's just not designed to be thrown around on the road. So honestly, for road driving, I wouldn't really go for this. It's not really, I'm not really having much fun. It was really fun off-road, but on-road it's not that much fun. Last thing I'm going to try is some cross-country. So I'm just going to drive into the desert. Should be pretty bumpy. We can test it out at some sort of cross-country application. Now, don't know how good it's going to be for cross-country. For cross-country, I really do like all-wheel drive, as rear-wheel drive can lose grip quite easily when you crash. No, when you land jumps. Rear-wheel drive has a habit of losing grip if you're not going fast enough. But because cross-country, I'd say, is one of the slowest disciplines. Yeah, I'd say all-wheel drive's probably better for it. But if you look, maybe it's a dune car. That's not doing too badly at all. Then again, I don't really think it has enough power to be a dune car. Anyway, in terms of what I can tell, I mean, sand probably isn't the best place to test this. But in terms of what I can tell, it's kind of just any off-road application this thing's designed for. So really a lot of fun, I'll give you that. Like, it's not competitive. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do much A800 as is, but it's a lot of fun just to probably keep... I mean, you can probably online race it if you're good, but you're not going to stay competitive against someone with some heavily tuned rally-specific car. Like, I would think I'd be able to do a lot better in a rally race with like an A800 Impreza that I tuned myself, rather than this stock Forza Horizon 370. But maybe if you tuned it to S1, it could be alright in S1. Then again, it would have to be all-wheel drive, and I honestly, I never recommend upgrading, like changing the layouts on your car, like from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive, or except you can sometimes change front-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. It's not too bad, but generally your car's suspension and weight distribution and aero and geometry is set up for the type of drive it came with, and it can often cause loads of understeer problems swapping it to all-wheel drive, or loads of overswitch steer problems swapping it to rear-wheel drive. So yeah, anyway guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to conclude that here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.